It's not brain surgery. In the 20th century, we've used this phrase as a way of saying that something wasn't too hard to do. Brain surgery is the symbol of a complicated task. But it turns out that that's all it is. It's just complicated. It requires highly developed skills and knowledge, but it requires precious little understanding. The phrase will exit the 21st century carrying the implication, it's just brain surgery, as opposed to the real challenges that we face, which are complex. In the 20th century, we have exercised great mastery over the complicated, and we have failed miserably at mastering the complex. Complicated tasks are pretty much one-dimensional. They're just problems to be solved, making and using a cell phone, putting a human on the moon, drilling an oil well a mile down in the Gulf of Mexico. These are just complicated tasks, difficult, but not complex. And every time we have mastered the complicated, we have made the fundamental challenges more complex. Complex tasks are far more problematic and difficult, involving multiple dimensions, each with massive degrees of uncertainty. They are not problems to be solved, they are challenges to be overcome. Feeding the hungry, educating billions of children, aligning our means of production and consumption so that we can achieve societies that are sustainable, eradicating poverty, controlling the use of violence. These are the fundamental challenges of the 21st century. Each requires the ability to determine the relevant context of the challenge and an understanding of how the phenomena within that context interact. And this is why we study human ecology. Thomas Cahill, in Sailing the Wine-Dark Sea, talked about the difficulty of drawing message and sense from trying to piece together the contributions of Greek civilization to the world and to Western history. And he said, the fragments I lay out for your inspection may not seem to fit well together, as if they were stray pieces from separate puzzles. In such cases, I counsel patience. There are moments when a large enough fragment can become a low wall, a second fragment, another wall, to be raised at right angles to the first. A few struts and beams later, and we have made ourselves a rough lean-to in which to take temporary shelter from the contrary buffetings of history. But while we're building this lean-to, the fragment we're examining may seem to be unconnected to the larger whole. Only when we step back can we see that we have been assembling something that can stand in the wind. And so as you step forward, step back also. As you look at your constructions, they may seem rather pathetic. Part of a wall from John Anderson, a stick or two from Nancy Andrews and Drew Colbert, a couple of glass bricks from John Visvader, some mortar from Bill Carpenter, a keystone or two from Karen Waldron. But in fact, you will find it to be quite resilient because you've chosen these components yourselves and put them together in ways that no one else ever has. I hope you have also learned that there are likely to be flaws in your construction. Holes in your roof, cracks in your walls, maybe even a fault in your foundation. There will be times when you will be tempted to demolish the whole thing and start over again. That confusion, approaching bewilderment sometimes, is something you must feel in order to learn. As you seek meaning for your life, you'll need two kinds of courage. One is the courage to keep what sometimes seems to be a hopelessly inadequate intellectual hovel, salvaging here, shoring up there, but still continuing to build your own, even though the prefab components offered by others offer more material comfort. The second form of courage will be the courage to tear it down if it needs to be torn down, all the way to the bedrock and start over. And the wisdom you seek is to know the difference. And so now we approach that final test that I've been warning you about for some time. So if all of those of you who hope to graduate, I hope you can still hear me if I stand over here. I'll try to project. Would you all stand? All right. That was not the test. The rest of you may try to take this test. I welcome you to join in as we go along. The first thing I would like for you to do is to raise your right hand in the air. Oh, come on, this is my left hand. Don't do what I do. The right hand in the air. There we go. All right. Now, both hands in the air. Turn them sideways. Very good. Make sure that your thumb is sticking out from your hand. Okay? So far, so good. No other takers? Come on. All right, here we go. Hands up. All right, now hold them straight out in front of you. Thumbs up, right? Now turn them so the thumbs are down. Very good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our right hand and we're going to put it over and across so that it touches the palm of the left, okay? Right hand over across, touch the palm of the left. Now turn your thumbs up. It's simple. Hands up, hands out, thumbs down. All right, right palm over, turn them up. That's not the test either. The test is to figure out the meaning of that. It is my pleasure now to introduce Leland Moore, a good friend, to make the student welcome. Leland?